If you are a beginner to write a research paper, you need to get answer for a few questions. So today in this presentation, I have taken a few questions to answer you. The first questions with my presentation is, why do we write a research paper? The goal of a research paper is to bring together different views, evidences, and the facts about a topic from books, articles, and the interviews, then interpret the information into our own writing. And then it enable you to present your own evaluation or the interpretation or the argument based on a particular topic. Students can gain many benefits from the research paper writing. Some of the key benefits are critical thinking, strengthen the communication skill, and also research skill. When we make any opinion on a particular topic, we need to research thoroughly and think deeply, right? By developing the ability of critical thinking, we will able to express a viewpoint in more active and also meaningful way. And also by writing a research paper, we can develop a logical thinking. Not only a logical thinking, it's help you to interactions between the reader and the writer. In that way, it will help you to improve our communication skill. And then if you are researching a particular topic, day by day, you will going to get a new idea which will help you to improve your research skill. So, how this is how the student can gain a main benefits from writing a research paper. So that's why it's a very important to write a research paper. Then come to the second questions of my presentation. What is the structure of a research paper? When we see the structure of a research paper, it goes from general to a specific and then specifics to the general again. This is the format where the research paper has. And come to the introduction part, the structure of introduction as usually the paper is start to a general to a specific, and the general stage is a compiled references, and we talk about a general research fields. Then at the end of the introduction, we need to get on to a specific point, that is purpose. This indicates that the purpose of the study, thesis or the hypothesis, are the outlines intentions behind the paper. And then come to the specific again, that is methods. It provides the information on the design, procedure, assumption, and the approaches, data, etc. And then come to the result session. It is states the main findings of the results, arguments, and what was established. This is all about the result, and at the end of the paper, why this paper is important. That is discussion and the conclusion, and it will going to interpret or extends the result, draws and inferences, point of applications or the recommendations. So this is a discussion and the conclusion is going to a very specific one to the general. So this is how the structure of the research paper has. And then come to the third question, what are the modules that the research paper has? There are 9 modules in the research paper. First one is the title, and the second is abstract, introduction, methods, results, discussion, conclusion, acknowledgement, and references. So these are the modules which research paper contain. And let's see one by one. When you see the title, it contains the title of the paper, what we have chosen as subject to the topic, and then author's names and corresponding names of the institute what they are working or they are studying. And then come to the abstract part. It is a quick overview or the summary of the paper, what the paper contain, and then it contains the main points of the entire paper. And in this session, we can see the aim of the study. So this is about the abstract, and then come to the introduction part. In this introduction, it will going to answer for the question, why was the study done. So inside the introduction, we can introduce the main topic, and also it gives the summary of the previous researchers, and then formulate a clear problem to be solved, and then explains the hypothesis, and explains the main purpose of the study. In this session, we can also learn about the subject if we don't know much about the subject what we are going to do, because it helps you to teach the background research and reviews. And the main point is that in this introduction part is it at the end of this introduction it has a main purpose of the study. So that is the most important with the introduction. Then come to the methods. In this session, we are going to get an answer for the question that is, how was the study done? It explains the subject and it explains the condition and the treatment, and it explains the procedure to experiment and what was measured. In this session is a very detailed one. If you want to know how someone else did the experiment, and also we can trust the result by seeing the experiment. And then come to the result session. In this, what did the experiment results in? We can see that explains the results, and also it explains the any problem with the data collection or any other intensity trends in data, and also mentions the figures on the table. And the most important point with this result session is it explains the result without any interpretation, just numerical facts and the statistical results. So we can think ourselves the meaning of graphs and also results. So this is how the result session contains. And then come to the discussion. In this discussion session, we are going to discuss with the meaning, what are the meanings of results, and also it reviews the main results of the study and compares the results of the previous result, and discuss the possible reason for that and interpretations of the result. And we can see the some suggestion for the research and also application and conclusion. And then come to the conclusion part. It is a main session and also interesting one. To trust this conclusion, we need to read the rest of the paper how they did the study. As I told you before, the structure of the paper, in that the conclusion part is comes from specific to the general one. So we need to focus with a first specific and then come to the general. And then come to the point number 8, that is acknowledgement. It is actually a sessions that a list of everyone who supported the project. That is all about the who are supported for the project. And then come to the references. These references are the research paper which is already published in the journals from the other authors what you are chosen for the particular topic, and that particular topic, if any other are published means, so if you are refer the paper for your writing, those papers are the references. And this is all about the modules of the research paper. And then come to the last question of my presentation, that is how to read a research paper. This is also one of the most important when you want to write a research paper. And also, first, you need to break down each session of the paper and just follow the step by step. If you follow some step to read the paper, it will be very helpful and also understand easily. Before going to read any paper, we need to focus with some points, that is, year of publication. We need to see that sometimes it's a very important that whether it is a recent paper or not. So we need to focus with the year of publication and the name of the authors, and in which journals they have published. That is also one of the important thing. And also follow the some steps to how to read with the research paper. And the first step with the reading paper is read and understand the title of the paper. So, first thing, we need to understand the title of the paper, because it is the main conclusion of the study, and also summarize what is the conclusion of the study and what researchers found out of the study. So, so that's why we need to understand this title, and then come to the step number 2, that is skim through a paper. When you are reading a research paper, you have to check the major headings. What are the major headings? They are written in the paper, and also check the pattern of the paper. In which pattern they have written in the paper, and then go through the graphs and the figures, how they have, how many graphs are there, and then just analyze the graphs, and then underlines unknown words which is not familiar with you, because it help you to get a particular meaning of that very easily if you underline that. And then come to the step number 3, that is read the abstract. This abstract contains the major findings of the paper and summary of the paper, and it highlights the main topics of the paper, and it defines the aim of the study and the results. So all these contains abstract contains all these things. So when you are reading the abstract, we need to focus with all these things. That is aim of the study and highlight the main points of the paper and also results. So when you reading the abstract, by seeing this abstract, whether we need to go further through a paper or not, we can decide by ear itself by seeing the abstract. So so that's why when you are reading the abstract, we need to focus all these things, and then come to the step number 4, read the introduction. When okay, when you are familiar, if you are familiar with the topics, then you just skip the introduction part. Only focus with the introduction. Is that is at the end of the introduction you have a basic message of the study, so you have to focus with that. And if you are not familiar with the topic, then read the introduction completely, and if necessary, read the cited references. So this is all about the reading of introduction. And then when you will going to read introduction, then you will going to find a and then background study, that is a step 5. This is a background study. You will going to find a background study when you are reading the introduction. So now you have a knowledge of background study and background knowledge, and go back to the result session, and then read the text and trace out back to the figures and examines the figure and also graphs, and try to understand those and take a notes and interpret the figures and try to draw our own ourselves. That is also one of the most important thing with the writing a research paper. And then come to the step number 6, that is go to the discussion. And when you go to a discussion session, you need to see that that is you, do you agree with this conclusion or not, and also do experiments support the conclusion, and any additional experiment we can add to that, or any future aspects we can see from the discussion session. And then come to the step number 7, that is check a conclusion. Once if you read the conclusion, we can see that any other applications we can add to that. We can also see by checking the conclusion itself. And then come to the step number 8, go through a methods. I told you that it is a detailed one, and these methods and materials when it is important when you want to replicate the experiment. Otherwise, to understand the new technique used in the study, that is enough. And if we know the technique or the methods, and also we can quickly go through it, and only we can need to replicate the experiment, it requires a deeper reading and also understanding. So this is how you have to read a research paper, and if you follow these step will help you to understand the paper completely. So this is the last question of my presentation, so thank you.